Spag, you're going to start with the defensive coordinator, aren't you?
You have to. I think Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, reminded us, like, I'm the best defensive coordinator in the game. You can make the case he's one of the greatest playoff defensive coordinators in football, and I thought the plan he put together was spectacular. The way that they skunked Lamar in this offense, one, baited them into throwing the ball so consistently. Think about it this way. 2 weeks ago, baited Buffalo into running the football all the time, and then baited Baltimore into throwing the football all the time. And I thought he called the game, guys, like an offensive coordinator. All the different personnel groupings that he rolled out, 5 or 6 different ones. And then Lamar missed throws. I mean, every throw felt long. And I think you heard Romo on the broadcast say, just a ball or a yard or two long on every single throw. The panic, the rattle, the unsettled nature of Lamar was different than any version that we had seen of Lamar this season.
Yeah, see, I think Spags dictated the style of play. And you had mentioned Buffalo to run the ball. He gets these guys to throw it or whatever. And that's what great coaches do. And when you say from an offensive perspective, no, a real defensive coach will do this. And to me, this is the guy. You have the black piece on the chessboard. You get the move last. That's why a great defensive coach can always dictate the style of play. Great ones do that. Spags a great one. All right, and to me, he's one of the best of all time.
He played 6 different personnel.
Yeah, of course, and that's what you do, especially when the other side of the ball allows you to do it.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest game plan I've ever seen. And you know what, Greg Roman, every single person needs to apologize to you because you got blamed for everything about what was wrong in Baltimore, and it wasn't you because this new guy that we praised the hell out of.
Todd Monken.
Yeah, Todd Monken. By the way,
with the new guy.
You don't have Tom Brady. Do you realize your quarterback is Lamar Jackson, not Tom Brady? What in the hell are you doing dropping back 82% of the time? This is a team that led the NFL in rushing attempts. They had 6 whopping rushing attempts to the running backs. So Spags like, I'll put every little dude. Hey, RC, you go play D tackle. Because they ain't going to run the ball. What the hell are you doing?
Okay, so we just switched it up, obviously.
Sorry, I apologize.
Okay. We'll get to Mahomes later.
Yeah,
let's deal in that. Because however much of this was about what Steve Spagnuolo dictated, Dan just made the point. And Tony Romo, I thought on the broadcast yesterday, made it as well. Lamar Jackson seemed, for whatever reason, hesitant to just tuck it and run.
Everybody did.
Romo kept saying, one hitch, 2 hitch, and go, and he wouldn't do it.
When you look at the Baltimore Ravens, they played as if they had imposter syndrome. They played like a team that, as much as they wanted the world to think they felt they deserved to be there, they played like a team that didn't feel like they deserved to be there. Their quarterback pressed. When you look at Lamar Jackson in the most pressurized moments, he didn't revert back to what he knew. It almost seemed like he was playing to prove to the world, I can win playing this way, when all the Baltimore Ravens need him to do is just win being Lamar Jackson. And I know there were points in this season where we praised him for his ability to scramble to throw, his ability to create to throw, where there were opportunities yesterday where he could have been the best athlete on the field because he is. And he chose not to do that at some times. And I do believe it's some of what Steve Spagnuolo was able to do. Dan mentioned the amount of DBs they had on the field to sort of match the speed of Lamar Jackson. Well, let's think back to his rookie season when we watched the Chargers do the exact same thing by using Derwin James. And so we actually thought, or we believed, because of what we saw in the regular season, that Lamar Jackson and this offense had progressed. Well, what is it about? It's about when you get in the biggest moment, if you've had this consistent level of excellent play, we're just asking you to be excellent again, right? That's the baseline. Now, what do the greats do? The greats in that moment, they raise that play. The greats in that moment, they get even more laser focused. They get even more relaxed because they're built for this.
Right.
I believe that Lamar Jackson is built for this. But Lamar Jackson has to show it. In the same way I came on the show last week and I said, no matter how much talent you have, no matter how great your regular season is, it's about making plays in these moments. And I'm not going to give you the fact that Zay Flowers dropped the ball because you had an opportunity to make the right decision in throwing the football to Isaiah Likely.
Queen Catherine Parr was the 6th wife of King Henry VIII of England. Her garters, embroidered with the entwined initials of H and K in gold and silver, fastened beneath the knee to keep her hand-knitted silk stockings smooth. Her linen coif secured her plaited hair into position. The Queen's smock, made from fine imported Holland linen, formed her principal undergarment. The Spanish farthingale was a cone-shaped petticoat, stiffened with hoops of bent wood. It could be worn with a hip pad, or have one sewn in. It was initially a fashion of the ladies of the Habsburg family, and was once favoured by Catherine of Aragon. In the 1540s, it was reintroduced into the Tudor court from the Netherlands, at the time under Habsburg rule, and Catherine Parr was one of the first to adopt it. Catherine was described as a lively and attractive woman, of small stature and graceful countenance. The kirtle was a sleeveless undergown, with a stiffened bodice, and a full gathered and pleated skirt. The front of the bodice was stiffened with buckram, a canvas stiffened with glue, and bents which were a type of reed. The kirtle was laced up either at the centre back, or at the sides with silk ribbon points. The bodice was laced tightly to the torso, its stiffness essential to protect the dipping waistline from forming a crease. This created the foundation of the fashionable silhouette. The kirtle had a bejewelled band around the neckline, decorated with gold ouches and pearls. This would remain visible when her outfit was complete. Tudor shoes of this period, for both men and women, were flat, square-toed and decorated with slashes or pinked. Women's shoes are rarely seen in portraits, but Catherine's accounts reveal that she had quite a fondness for them, as she ordered pairs in considerable numbers. The forepart was a false petticoat, often made as a set with a pair of foresleeves. This one is made of crimson cloth of gold, a textile reserved exclusively for the use of the royal family under sumptuary legislation. It was attached to the kirtle by means of ties and pins. Catherine's accounts reveal that crimson cloth of gold was one of her most frequent purchases of these exclusive textiles. Catherine's gowns were influenced by many continental styles, including French, Dutch, Italian and Venetian. This gown, a French or round gown, had a square neckline, opened at the front to reveal the petticoat, and was the same length all around. It is made from crimson silk velvet, a fabric restricted to those of the highest status. Catherine's wardrobe accounts show that she ordered crimson silk velvet in considerable quantities, second only to black velvet and silk satin. The gown bodice fits closely to the bejewelled border of the kirtle, keeping a smooth outline. The gown is laced up at the front with silk points through hand-worked eyelets in a linen panel. The closure is then concealed beneath a stiffened placket of matching crimson velvet. The placket is pinned into place with gold-headed straight pins down one side. The sleeves fit tightly to the upper arm, then fan out into wide pendulous cuffs. The sleeve cuffs are folded back to reveal their luxurious fur lining. The foresleeves slip over the wrists and are fixed into place with ribbon points or pins just above the sleeve elbow. This pair are made from crimson cloth of gold to match the petticoat forepart, slashed and edged with crimson silk, and caught together with gold aglets and ouches. The puffs and frills of linen were often fake. Both forepart and sleeve sets could be changed during the day to create a different look. Elaborately jewelled girdles helped to emphasize the dipping waistline and were amongst the most expensive items of jewellery. Many of the Queen's jewels belonged to the crown, but Catherine also owned her own and would gift jewels as part of her patronage. Catherine's outfit would be completed with a French hood. During this period, women's heads were always covered when outside or in company. French hoods were decorated with 2 rows of bejeweled bands, known as upper and nether billements. A black silk veil flowed down the back. Sometimes a linen strap extended under the chin from the coif beneath to hold everything in place. Catherine Parr was a double widow from a non-aristocratic background, but she emerged as the perfect queen and regent general for the golden age of Tudor England. Under her guiding influence, she helped shape the future Elizabeth I, and she outlived her husband, Henry VIII.